let's talk about something not sexy. Right now, we're going to talk about guerrilla sales for non-sexy businesses. That's right. It's not going to be a beverage. It's not going to be something really cool like clothing. It's going to be point of sales. It's going to be window cleaning. It's going to be, guys, we do something cool, but nobody even cares because it's pipes, right? There are a ton of businesses out there that have non-sexy products that really need to figure out how to do sales, how to grow, and how to get so much bigger than they already are. That's exactly what we're talking about today is how do you do guerrilla marketing on a budget, trying to figure out what we need to get us over the hump to that next level in sales. So you have sales, you have marketing, right? We've got two kind of yin yang sides of the coin. Marketing is we're really trying to get people to want to come to us, and we're going to try and pull them in. And sales is we're pushing to go out to the market. We're pushing to go out and get in touch with people. Today we're going to talk about sales and pushing to go out to the market. Now this is something most of you have already dealt with. You've already spoken with people. You might be thinking about validating a product. I don't know where you are in that stage. However, you will still be doing sales for a very long time, if not forever, because you have to have marketing, you have to have sales. You can lead off with one or the other. Sales is typically faster, so that's where you're going to sit. All right, so what we're talking about today, just three main things. First, how do you maximize what you've already got? That is the best use of your resources is to use what you already have. You don't have to use other things. All right, the second one is we're going to be talking about pushing into the market and making the market your teacher and changing that mindset of what you're doing in the market. All right, and then the third thing is we're just going to talk about some different tools that you can use. That way you can think about, hey, my product needs a heat map on a website, or my product, we really got to go door to door. Or this one of, I'm just going to call a guy and see what happens. It really depends on what your product is and how your sales process looks. So starting off, let's talk about maximizing your data. How many people here have something on LinkedIn? Please raise your hand. Thank you. All right, so everybody has a database on LinkedIn of a lot of different people. Here's what you need to do. Go take that database. You can go in your settings and download a copy of that database to Excel. Go through that entire list of names and decide who you should reach out to. Let's say you have roughly 2,000 people in your database. Try reaching out to 100 different people for a conversation. You're going to get a crazy amount of feedback. You're going to get to hash out your ideas with people all over the place, right? Don't get people that are just like you in the way that you think. You want people with a lot of different experiences. We always talk about getting advisors, getting mentors. It's on you to go get it. So download this list, go through. I had a chance to speak with CEOs out of my list whenever I did the same thing. I had a chance to speak with people that asked me questions I'd never even thought of. But anybody in the mentoring or startup space, they didn't ask them either. So that's why it's really important to use your existing list. Second reason you want to do that is you want to find raving fans and supporters. There are people that are just good friends, acquaintances. It is business oriented, right? But there are going to be others that are raving supporters that will tell you how you can make more money. They will tell you, hey, talk to this person to get some sales. Like, you have a network that needs to be used, and it is waiting for you to use it. 99% of us are not using the network. We like to think if we post on LinkedIn, everybody saw it. But that's not how it works. We think if we posted on Facebook or Twitter that everybody saw it. I can get on any of these websites or platforms and not read 90% of the material because I'm thinking about something else, or I have 3 screens going at the same time, or I'm on the phone. The only way to do it is to intentionally go after them one by one. So this is going to take us to our second point. We're talking about pushing on sales, right? So as we're getting into this guerrilla marketing idea, guerrilla sales, it's just how do you get the most out of your time? How do you get the most out of it? All right, so first off, the market is now your teacher. Don't think of it like we're going to go take this product to the market and solve a problem. Think of it like a conversation that is in continual flux. You are going back and forth with your market all the time. We're always talking about trying to get feedback from our customer, whether it's through surveys, clicks, trying to track things. That's essentially the same idea, but nothing is better than getting one-to-one phone calls. Have a face-to-face conversation, a face-to-face or voice-to-voice phone call. Get some feedback on what isn't working. Here's the next part. You might not like it. Don't do it once or twice. Do it 50 times. Do it 100 times. A lot of people really want to be nice to you. They don't want to tell you what's wrong. They want to tell you, and it's not for lack of caring. Most of the time, people really do want what's good for you. They just can't express it in a way that's meaningful or impactful for your product or service. So take that, do it a whole bunch until you find somebody that gives you real feedback. And it might be, you made too many features and I don't know what to do with it. It could be, I need an onboarding program or experience that makes this really easy. I've got 10 minutes tops, and then I'm just going to leave. So depending on what that issue is, it allows you to fix it and address it up front. Maybe you have a really long sales cycle and trying to figure out a way to educate or entertain that customer or client until it gets to that sales point is what you need to focus on. It could just be, hey, my offer on my pay-per-click ads seems to be working, but they land on my website and then they stop. I know you're going to have a ton of fires to put out. You probably have a backlog of just issues, right? Like you walk into your office, you're looking at, hey, this startup is awesome. I have one good thing on my list today, the rest of it's fires. And that's just the nature. However, if you have these conversations, you can prioritize down that list of this is the highest priority to increase sales, or this is the highest priority over here to improve our operations, or put it somewhere else on the list. That's what it allows you to do. And this happens much more on a push or sales outbound environment. You need to be having these conversations with people that are going to tell you the truth. That's how we get into the market is really the teacher. And whenever you're listening to your teacher and incorporating their feedback, you grow and expand much faster. I mean, let's say you are doing something that is maybe a restaurant or a food item, right? So you have let's do food truck. I like food trucks, they're fun. So let's say you're at a food truck. You're talking to the guy, he's making this meal, and something doesn't work. I probably am not going to say anything most of the time, right? I'm just going to eat the food, not really think about it too much. But if the food truck owner comes up to me and does that push approach, says, hey, I tried some new recipes today, gave you a kind of a little break in your conversation style. Tell me what you think about this food. What would you like taken out of it, or what would you like added to it? I'm much more likely to give him a real answer. Like, I loved it. I didn't like this one part. Didn't taste right. Just doesn't fit my taste profile. He can do something with that if he wants. But if he never came out to ask in the first place, he's just shooting in the dark. He thinks he's making sales, but he's not. He's making a one-time sale versus a repeat customer. That's the kind of information that we're really looking for, okay? So now we're going to talk about some different tools that you can use for sales, right? So first off, I hope you have a smartphone. I know this is simple, but like a smartphone can do a lot more than you think, right? So pictures of business cards, point of sale systems. We can run all of these things through a cell phone. Now we're going to flip to the other side of you need to do human-to-human interaction, right? So what kind of tool can you really use for human-to-human interaction? Let's talk about appointment setting. Let's talk about follow-up software like CRMs. So take your business. We're going to take all the different things that you need. So if you have a service-oriented business, so follow-up is probably going to be extremely high on that list. You have to have some system that hits on follow-up 100% of the time. That's where your sales will be. If you're in a product-oriented system, you might need an education drip campaign. Let's say it's an expensive product, like some type of industrial startup where you need to learn how the product works. Is there any kind of testing I need to know? Whatever the item is. So maybe you need an educational follow-up with this product. That onboarding process is going to be slightly different, but that is AI market automation. That is a sales sequence. You can do the same thing with a lot of email responder systems. There's email sending programs. And then let's get to the actual website or point of sale itself. It's either going to be in person or it's going to be on a website. Let's just assume we're on a website. Do you have tracking enabled? Do you have analytics enabled? Do you have heat maps enabled? These are all very easy, simple tools that you need to have on your website. And then the best question you can ask is, do I have a dedicated time to sit down, review them, and then implement what I've learned? So let's say you've got a website. It's set up with all the goodies, right? It's been a month. You have several thousand visitors. Now you're going to go look at your analytics. And we scroll down the page. Let's say we have a great ad. And then you find out every page they click on the teeth in my smile. Right? Something weird, something goofy like that. Like, why does everybody click here? Everybody clicks on this part of a picture. Why are they clicking on my teeth? I don't know. People are weird. They do cool stuff. They do weird stuff. It's just people. However, that means that if I'm going to have a picture of a person, I would like them smiling with teeth showing. Let's say it's a dental website. That would be perfect. But there are quirks like this that you can incorporate into your brand. And whenever you figure out what that pain point is through those outbound conversations, that's whenever you can really implement the tools. So let's go back to this food truck example, right? We're going to, and I say food trucks, to me, a restaurant is a little bit more sexy and it's easier to talk about. But if we want to do a non-sexy item, let's do power washing. All right, power washing is not sexy, right? But if you went up to your client again, after you're done, it's like, hey, here's the before and after pictures of the job in your face. I'm going to send you a picture of it. And then I've got this cool email system where I'm going to put both pictures in there. I'm going to send them to you in 6 months. I'm going to show you the before and after of your own property in 6 months. Take this, go look at what I cleaned, and tell me which one it looks closer to. And if you need it cleaned, call me today so I can get you on the schedule because I am packed. There you go, man. Sales pitch. However, you can put that in an email, schedule it to send in 6 months, and you walk away and forget about it. You might not even remember this client, but you followed up in such a meaningful way that you now have repeat business. They think about you, and if you miss steps along the way, it's okay because you're going to miss steps. Just tell people, own it, say, hey, I forgot to email you. Go send it, you're good. But these are some ways that you can do some guerrilla marketing for non-sexy businesses. So think about that. Think about really using your existing data take your database and put it somewhere else so you can really, really dig in to see what you can do. Be sure to use the market as your teacher, not just a customer we're solving a problem for. Let it be a conversation where they help you grow, and it's a very different mindset and experience. And third, make sure that you find the right tools for your business and you also implement them appropriately. Thank you.